Avengers Infinity War was perhaps the greatest culmination of MCU characters, plot threads, and storylines in the MCU up until that point, only being topped in sheer quantity by the third act of Avengers Endgame. But one of the standout moments of Infinity War was the one of the confrontation between the Mad Titan Thanos and the godfather of the MCU, the late and great Tony Stark. With Stark being able to confront the demon that had haunted his life since the 2012 Chitauri invasion of New York, he finally was able to meet his greatest adversary head on. But later in the battle, we find out that not only does Stark know Thanos, but Thanos is also aware of who Tony Stark is. Many fans have questioned how exactly this could be the case, and while various theories and explanations have been circulated around the internet, lucky for us, the director himself was weighed in on this minor curiosity. So stick with us, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we explore the canon reason as stated by Joe Russo himself as to why Thanos knows of Tony Stark, and put to bed a lot of the major theories circling around this big question in Avengers Infinity War. In the film itself, the only explanation we are given on screen is that Thanos is simply cursed with knowledge, as he states, but he doesn't give any further insight into what exactly the statement means. The line is widely used to brush aside the moment and to focus on the battle at hand, while still confirming that Thanos knew of Tony Stark in some manner. Infinity War director Joe Russo, however, has gone on record as to say that Thanos knows Tony the same way Tony knows of Thanos, as a direct result of the 2012 Chitauri invasion of New York. Given that there is sometimes a disparity between a writer's interpretation and the director's vision, much like the laws of time travel for example, some quotes like these have to be taken with a grain of salt. But for this video, we will be exploring Joe Russo's explanation in depth, and treat it as if it were the canonical explanation. It's important to remember that the invasion of New York took place in a far different manner depending on the perspective of which it is viewed. From Thanos' point of view, he saw that he sent an army to a realm that Loki regarded as weak and ripe for subjugation. After sending Loki to Earth to collect the Tesseract and call the Chitauri for Earth, he sent his army forth and awaited their inevitable conquest. What actually ended up happening, however, is that after mere hours of conflict, a figure in an armored suit came through a wormhole and used a weapon that Thanos had likely never seen before in order to annihilate the Chitauri mothership and thwart the invasion in one fell swoop. From Thanos' perspective, he now has much to learn about what just happened. This leaves one of two possibilities, both of which we'll be exploring. The first is that Thanos simply took Loki's word regarding Earth, and is widely in the dark regarding their capabilities as a direct result of his hubris and overconfidence. This would line up with Thanos' character as we've seen him, and he is oftentimes a victim of his own arrogance and sense of superiority over others. The other is that the tactician inside him took control and he knew of Earth's defenses rather well, knowing full well that Loki could not be trusted. If we assume that he started from nothing but Loki's word, then we know that he had to investigate the figure that decimated an entire army. His army, the armored suit that he used, the weapon in question, and how common these defense systems were among Earthlings. If he did his own research ahead of time, then it's highly likely that he could have simply overlooked Tony Stark. If Thanos did his own recon, he is looking for defense forces, armies, weapons, and the might of the collective nations of the world. While he may have studied Stark technology, the only heroics that Iron Man had to his name were defeating the Ironmonger and Whiplash in the first two Iron Man films, events that were likely small enough for Thanos not to have known or heard about. After Tony decimated the Chitauri mothership and stopped the complete invasion of Earth, however, then Thanos would have to have taken notice. Thanos has a vast network of resources, agents, and informants, offering him information from across the galaxy. He was able to track down the locations of 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones before the events of Infinity War transpired, and widely stayed hidden in the shadows throughout the entirety of the discoveries of these 5 stones. Thanos even had control of the Mind Stone for a period of time, and while the canonical explanation gets a bit touchy given his tendency to send agents to collect the stones for him, it's possible that he even remained hidden as the Mind Stone was annexed from whoever held it before him. After all, he most famously sent Loki to collect the Space Stone from Earth, but he also sent Ronan the Accuser to bring him the Power Stone, and even sent his own daughter Gamora on a quest to find the Soul Stone. After the invasion, he would know that not only was the Tesseract last seen on Earth, but that now the Mind Stone is in the hands of the humans as well. By the time of Infinity War, he seems to know that the Space Stone has traded hands between the humans to the Asgardians. He also seemingly knows exactly where to find the Time Stone and that Doctor Strange is the target in question. All of these clues seem to hint at the idea that Thanos had spies on Earth, doing recon and tracking the stones as they traded hands. Therefore, it is not unreasonable to believe that he learned as much as he could about Tony Stark and his technology, as he widely viewed Tony as the Earth's greatest defender and the most formidable opponent that the Earth had to offer him. If the Earth housed 2 of 6 Infinity Stones, it stands to reason that Thanos would try to learn as much as he could about their defense measures, and specifically the being that completely shut down the Chitauri army and stopped the invasion in its tracks. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this explanation? Do you believe that this is the reason why Thanos knows who Tony Stark is? And if not, do you have another reason? Do you ultimately agree with Joe Russo and take his word as canon? And was this a question that you had following Avengers Infinity War? Or did you already just assume the answer, knowing that Iron Man was the one that destroyed the T'Chari forces all the way back in the Avengers? If you guys have other video topics or suggestions that you would like to see explored all across the MCU, please feel free to suggest them in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.